It's kind of crazy to think about it, but the Nintendo Wii is now almost 20 years old. This system came out all the way back in November of 2006, so in about a year's time, the Nintendo Wii will turn 20, and holy that makes me feel so old. And I will always love the Nintendo Wii because this thing was the very first Nintendo home console that I ever had any experience with. When I was growing up, it was all about the Nintendo handhelds at first, so I got a Game Boy Advance SP, and then I got a Nintendo DS Lite, and then finally after the Nintendo DS Lite, my family got a Nintendo Wii, and I spent so much time playing the Nintendo Wii, particularly Mario Kart Wii. I think that was probably the big game for me, as well as things like Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. But nonetheless, it's just such a cool console. It has one of the most unique gimmicks of all time, and it's arguable that the Nintendo Wii was the console that put Nintendo back on the map, competing with PlayStation and Xbox. So it's pretty cool in those respects, but what I wanted to talk about today was how good is the Nintendo Wii in 2025, because this is a console that I still play a lot today, and I think it has so much to offer for retro gamers, so I kind of just want to talk about it for a bit. But before we get into the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I am desperate for attention, so that would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, let's get into it. So, what makes the Nintendo Wii an amazing retro console in 2025? Well, I think there's two key factors that set it apart. The first is affordability, and the second is the games. So regarding affordability, I think the Nintendo Wii is possibly the cheapest Nintendo console you could just go out and find secondhand. There were so many Nintendo Wiis produced back in the day, and as a result of that, so many people just have them and are looking to get rid of them. So if you go on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or anything like that, you can pretty easily find a Wii for around 20 to 30 Australian dollars, which is just an insane price for a retro console when you compare it to things like the GameCube and the Nintendo 64. And by the way, for you Americans out there, because I know a lot of my audience is American, 20 to 30 Australian dollars is like 15 to 20 US dollars. But anyways, the point is that the Nintendo Wii is super cheap, and they're everywhere. They're really easy to find. Oh, and it's not only the console that's cheap, but the games are cheap as well. Like all the Wii games you would want to get your hands on, you can at a very affordable price. I know I found games like The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for like $20. You've got Metroid Prime 3, which I think I picked up for like $15. Super Mario Galaxy is like $30 to $40, which is a bit more pricey, but when you compare it to 3DS games and GameCube games, it's still super cheap to get a hold of the big games in the Wii library. And I think this is a really big deal because these days retro gaming is just so expensive. For example, if you want to get into the 3DS again, you have to buy the console itself, which the cheapest version is about $150 to $180 depending on where you get it from. And then if you want to get the XL variants, they're even more than that. And then if you want to get the big games for the console, they're all like $60 and above. It's just a nightmare, and it really kills my bank account, which makes me sad. But the Wii's not like that, so props to the Wii for being cheap. And then there's the games, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but I genuinely believe that the Nintendo Wii has one of the best libraries of any Nintendo console ever. You've got some of the most iconic games Nintendo's ever made on this console, like Mario Kart Wii, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, New Super Mario Bros. There's just an endless supply of amazing games here. And then you've also got the the fun and goofy Wii titles like Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play, Wii Fit, etc, etc. I feel like with a library like this, there's just so much fun to be had, and there truly is a game for everybody on the Nintendo Wii. And in addition to this, the Nintendo Wii is backwards compatible with the GameCube, so you can plug in your GameCube controllers and play amazing games like Mario Kart Double Dash, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Super Mario Sunshine, etc, etc, etc. And that is such an underrated feature of the Nintendo Wii. You've got the GameCube, which is in its own right a very expensive console to purchase if you wanted to get your hands on one, or alternatively, you can get a Wii for super cheap, which still has complete functionality to play GameCube games. Like, that is just amazing. With all of this being said, the Wii does have its downsides, which is probably partially contributing to the affordability of the console. And whilst I feel like that these downsides are very minimal and are definitely outweighed by the benefits, it's still definitely worth noting them. But before we get into that, a quick message from this video's sponsor. Me. I'm the sponsor again because the channel's still tiny and no one wants to give me their money to say things. So for today's sponsor message, I just wanted to say, hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. And if you are having a great day, you should subscribe to the channel because that would ensure that I also have a great day. So that's it from today's sponsor. Anyways, back to the video. One of the biggest drawbacks of the Wii is definitely its quality. Since it came out all the way back in 2006, it is locked to 480p, which is not a lot of pixels, and when you're playing the Wii in 2025, that is definitely noticeable. As a result of this, a lot of the games are just super blurry, and if you're a person who's easily triggered by things like that, the Wii is probably not the console for you. You can actually play most Wii games on emulators and upscale them to high definition, which definitely makes a massive difference, but obviously on the original console that is not possible. In addition to this, there is the Wii Remote, which is obviously a very iconic gaming controller, and it is one of the most unique gaming controllers ever made as well. But as a result of that, it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, and some games just straight up require the motion control and the Wii Remote and nunchuck setup, which is just not ideal. But for me personally, I don't mind it, so it's not a big deal for me, but I could totally understand why it would bother some other people. And other than that, there's really not too many negatives about the Nintendo Wii, in my books anyways. I guess another one is that the Nintendo online services don't work for the console anymore, but I think there are ways around it if you're into modding and stuff. I know there's still a big community playing Mario Kart Wii out there, and they've definitely found a way around it. So I think there are things out there to do it, but if you just buy the Wii off Marketplace, you generally can't use any internet, and you definitely cannot use any online multiplayer functionality in games. So yeah, that's it. That's everything I've got for the Nintendo Wii. It's late 2025 and this console is now approaching 20 years old, but nonetheless, I still think it's an amazing retro console to play, and I just wanted to express those feelings in a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.